starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Bibia abusa for me check. We would GD say and ne ubia ehon eye. All right. And what we're gonna do today is say every day we are just changing because any mechanic 2024 there we're gonna spark a lot of things in our studio until you be changing your systems in a little bit by a little bit now because we are actually building a podcast studio and I say as well as this live stream and GD say obe support here na oni but your program air 1 hour with Munufie and I say a live on YouTube, so a live on Facebook. By now we are just trying to also stream on Instagram on the same name 1 hour with Munufie. And he say we will be a honsona udiagra. Actually, you can also check us also over there. Now, and there are two topics I be discussing. Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, I think say it's worth discussing. Senebia Bematima Manibia who near my echo. Alhaji say election 2024 say you talk na wa anko yama no court na e bia idiasem. That is the message I want my. Is it say he knows he say oba be wiem no wiem a untimi nya hwe court na ko ukudu court nso a o ma park court no with their favorite people ntu kudu ha na pamo. And I said, what does it actually mean by that kind of statement? So this is something that and they be discussing here. Then the other topic is be discussing Asamoah Gyan Prez His Excellency John Mahama say a bra Castro sebe nyankopon fa ne kransi yede eyira ya no obo John Mahama ne na John Mahama e de emwa bi e de ma no oda John Mahama ase enya Asamoah Gyan ko a Pastor Etud Anaba and so a Prez John Mahama a bra one of his pastors ikunya nkwansia say nya John Mahama ene na nkasa pastor no enya de a otiase. Into these two topics any about na ya analyze I say the man John Mahama no is he God sent or what? Because nipa ebo John Mahama baso na me wogide say wa wo behwe me unso o sa same analysis say empatamu a woten dwumadie soronko John Mahama di 4 years pa be president no also betimi attest to all these kind of things into mama yanko na yenshase.
Here we have all the ministers, aspiring members of parliament, everybody is here. What message do you have for them?
Yes, I'd like to greet His Excellency, former President, Mr. John Mahama. One thing I remember, I don't want to, I have to go back, during 2014, when my friend's incident happened, Castro,
yeah.
I remember I called him on the phone. And then he asked me what he could do to help. And I told him anything he could do. I remember within less than an hour, there were like 10 helicopters at the Adna.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you remember this day?
Yeah, he's a man who, I would say he's a sitting president who normally talks to me, like speaks to me on the phone.
Wonderful.
When he was in power. And I always appreciate what he did for me when he was in power.
Wonderful. You know why I envy you tonight? You are seated by one of the finest MP in Ghana, Dr. Zenato. Are you happy to be closer to her?
Yeah, I'm happy to be closer to her.
Maybe there's some chemistry.
Yeah, she's a hard-working woman.
Hard-working woman.
From the family she comes from.
Hey, the chemistry is different from the family.
Okay,
thank you very much.
Lagos, a pastor has an accident in Nandom. His head is broken. He must get to Accra, otherwise he will die. Dr. Munufie, my good friend, called me. He said, Osofu, where are you? I said, I'm in Lagos. Dr. Munufie said, Eastwood, I have an emergency. One of our pastors, his head is broken. He's in Nandom, a pastor of ICGs. Can you help by calling the government so that they send the air ambulance to pick the guy to hospital? Otherwise, we're going to lose him. I was in Lagos with mommy. I called President John Mahama. I said, Your Excellency. He said, where are you? I said, I'm in Lagos. But I have a problem. I have a pastor friend. He's a pastor of ICGC. He has had an accident in Nandom. We need the air ambulance to carry him. He told me, he said, my brother, I'm going to call the Air Force commander and I'll be back with you in 30 minutes. In less than 10 minutes, he called me back. He said, the Air Force commander is going to call you back in a few minutes. By the time he put down the phone, Air Force commander called me. He said, Pastor Eastwood, where are you? I said, I'm in Lagos. He said, the president has given me your assignment. Consider it done. By tomorrow, your patient will be in Accra. The plane went all the way to Wow Hospital, picked up the patient, and sent Pastor Peter Gagara to Accra. And up till today, Pastor Peter Gagara is alive. I came to announce to you to stop listening to liars. There are people that can help you, and because they know who they are aware of who they are, they accept who they are acting who they are.
Exactly. Until Utie Pastor it stood anaba. The message is very, very clear. Now I will say Utie in some way one way I will be soon. Because se Ghana for etie in some way eto yen boasi ehu John Mahama very, very well. Abuja Funke and Toba. Pastor say there are some people that omunim baby omu free. And omunim adea omo ye ene baby a omo ko. Enti magana phone tie nsem hunu enko sesa aban no Ghana for antie Castro so say abra Asamoah Gyan say abra Castro ene abayewa no to nsuo mo yera na no ofa phone efre John Mahama ene obisa na say edin ne ha no oka na konsem de kire no o say obema Air Force aba o say in less than 10 minutes, not over 10 helicopters, about a circulating everywhere Castro. The first lesson we learned from these two men, they say, John Mahama, a easily accessible president. President a very easy say to me for phone a friend a kawa konsem a chireno amanetiu. Two, or you ever ready to help or to assist anybody. Ipacho yempe we DNA yepe. Ghana for DNA everywhere. Papa di mfie nine etimi be develop Ghana man net testimonies about say papa yi e obi enyankopon ne so an say omra no meboa Ghana man. E DNA me ne wo ye abo papa yi. Abujan for AR hosam na mekan. Because when I cast my minds back 2016 John Mahama campaign and sema o catch the Ghana for na here from 2012 to 2016 Juma papa ye and so Ghana for NT iti tro na da sem ene mahuni eko ene mahu baby ya bedu emere na sen ba biem 2024 abato na sen adu abusuya odofo den na wo ye e de aboa Ghana man e den na wo ye de aboa wankasa kwasetena mu abato na du December e den na ye e de age Ghana asi ho afiri kwada na mo ye wo sisei e den na me ne wo e wo se ye Ama ye miensem we ho. Me makwache Frederick adwone me from Paris na me ne no atwetwe enkomoyi ahwe ba bi ebetim dedo. Fred, bibi aboko de.
Nyame adom me ho ye pa.
Ghana ba bi yedu ni o. Ghana mpanyifo ene nyankopon aka bi mu akra ama omo ankasa ebi o ma no e kansem pa e de kireti mamufo. E den na wo so woka.
Well ye ma tiefo nyina adwo na ye no mase says abre so omoda abekan ho na ye dwendwene Ghana ho na me share video no I think say I will start here na o chirimu a but in actual sense no prophet I don't know evangelist and I say pastor Eastwood or the now you know kan no so for no ye ICGC so for Otabel so for
Yes.
and Otabel is some one person 2016 or campaign to former President Mahama to that extent to say or press or chase bronsam na edi so but because of ne suban ene ne niye bi nti no ena wantimi anye dai ono ankasa ntimi amfa phone amfrɛ former president Mahama sɛ asɛm a ayɛ dai atumini ana ɔde kɔfa Eastwood so no problem sɛ nkɛyɛ papa baako yi a anka ɔbɛbusa sɛ sɔfo bɛyɛ no aka sɛ o ebi a sɔfo asomasi ne sɔfo ketewa kɔbɛka kyerɛ sɛ play no kora sɛ ana anka ɔmfrɛ no kora bio because wɔnyɛ saa type no wate aseɛ
Sir.
wɔanwene papa no nneɛma a wɔreyɛ tia ne ho na mmom ɔdwene nipa no a saa berɛ no na ɔwɔ ahohiahia mu no
Exactly.
wei ɛna mi ehunu nipa koro a ɔyɛ so ahunu wei na ɛde nsonsonoyɛ ba saa nipa mmienu wei yɛ dɛ ɛntɛm sɛ yɛ papa baako na anka me se wokɔɔ no nka ɔka wie na ɔka kyee na anka no ano nka sɔfo na obewu ufu sɛ ɔmunya access to the sitting president yi a sɛdeɛ ɔmo ka yi a anka ibi saa comparison wei kura nke bɛba kɛma na Asamoah Gyan deɛ yi ɛyɛ dɛn nɛnɛ ana wɔka saa asɛm wei akyerɛ Ghanafoɔ Asamoah Gyan in all this while 2014 ni ade na saa nkurɔfoɔ wei mu na ɛdaadaa wɔn nkurɔfoɔ wei na ɛdaadaa wɔn ɛne kɔsi na ntakyi mu 2014 yɛkɔɔ World Cup yɛnyɛ biribi mfa ngu aban n'anim ayɛ dɛ anim ase to the extent sɛ 2014 World Cup yɛkɔɔ yɛ nyinaa ne nneɛma ɛkɔɔ so nyinaa no ne nyinaa ka ho bi na yɛto abade tia former President Mahama yɛnya journalist for te Ghana ɔmo yɛ campaign thinking sɛ Akufo-Addo ba Nana Akufo-Addo ɔba ɔbɛba abɛyɛ nsɛnkyerɛnne bi ama yɛakye nkurɔfoɔ bi ato mu anaasɛ biribi saa nkurɔfoɔ no nya akwanya kɔbisa ne sɛ president na nsɛm a keka yɛ nnɛ waba GFN nsɛm 2014 incident yi ɛho asɛm bɛyɛ na aka ɔka kyerɛ ɔmo so ne yere kora afi ɛso na nam saa nneɛma wei nom nyinaa so asɛm esi 2014 ɛyɛ dɛn na nnɛ ana Asamoah Gyan kae sɛ ɛsɛ sɛ ɔka kyerɛ Ghanafoɔ sɛ deɛ former president Mahama yɛ dɛ ɛyɛ yɛ nie so ahunu ebi akɔ n'ani na da bia wɔn sɛ papa no yana is not just a talker but ɔkasa hwɛ nkan because onim sɛ ɔkyena wɔ hɔ so ahunu eti sɛ ɔhwɛ a ɔn sɛ you could see sɛ ne nsɛm a ɔka yɛ time a ɔhand over no like ɔ accept ayi na ɔka sɛ oh daakye biara no mo de me boɔ bɛyɛ dɛn ɛbɛma me no ebi na ayɛ dɛn ahyɛ aseɛ no
Sir.
ɔhwɛ ɛnyɛ hɔ nko a o wɔyɛ osi actor ọba abọnten
Rebecca the same thing.
Yes, what's na ni na eka kiti se papa na mama anko ye dai anko firi mu na ye no wanwa so on say ne sekan no ekate across onye selective person what you say oh se nka obeka se o kra wo ye Asante ni moti wo na bia Asante se de papa yi ensuo fa bota fo kogina ho ana o kan so huno tambia no hwɛ saa nipa mienu no a ɛne obiara ba abɔnten a the personal relationship wɔyɛ osisi n'ani na ɔda hɔ owu dɔte ya ne sɛ former president Mahama asoma saa time no sitting president
Yes.
so wate sɛ sei na yɛmɛhwɛ ɛkwan bɛ na ɔbɛfa so obetumi aboa no ɔka ne nsɛm a ɛmmoa a ɔno so de boa na ɛnɛ wɔyɛ dɛ ɔte ase yɛwɔ nkurɔfoɔ bebree a ɔhwɛ ɔmo behind the scenes a ɔmma abɔnten ɔmfa ntu ne ho ɔmfa nye dede so ahunu but ne nyinaa no so ahunu ɛka ho bi Asamoah Gyan woyɛ promoter of boxing
Yes.
former president Mahama si boxing arena sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a o business na wɔyɛ na ebetumi ayɛ dɛ ebetumi aboa amena ayɛ dɛ akɔ so but yɛhwɛ clearly we see MPP ni na say kura dem te say no so akọ contest for parliamentary seat bi on kran ho baabi for MPP. These are the people. So ahunu ene no me grow for Spartans o see Ejane Shewa obeba
Wa baba.
So what you say? A Ghana phrase here day.
No.
Microphobia. Enti na wo hɔ a na baako ato abɛyɛ dɛ aba abetum. Saa deɛ we ensi nnuro. 2014 way back.
Yes. One meka.
Wan ka bibia da. Ɛyɛ den ɛna nɛ deɛ. Not even a traitor. Mo deɛ sɛ hɔ na mo teɛ me sɛ ɛs ne ho ahwan. Amfa appreciate papa no mpo da wo. Ɛyɛ den na nɛ. O ba bɛka ho asɛm. So ahunu. Enti na meka ne sɛ unya ɔmanpanyin a ɔte sɛ even you are a leader of the national team. Na sɛ deɛ osika na ɛfɛ sɛ sitting president. He's the only sitting president. Otimi fa phone frɛw. Ɛna obɔ nkɔmɔ. Ɛdeɛ na ɛfɛ sɛ because onim sɛ o lead a group of people a woka ho. But also lead a very good group of people like at least most of the animonyam yɛ dɛ ɛba wɔ mo anim. Enti no ohunu ɔmfa so deɛ a ɛyɛ dɛ ɛwɔ so ma ɔman no. Enti ɔntoto wase. So ahunu. Enso no saa nkrofo we enum nyinaa nhunu saa we enum o. Omu nyinaa fɔle fɔ ntrɔ no. Ene no.
But
no.
the good thing is that Oma hunyansa. One who say it's better late than none. Say me bubeni ya.
Papa ba ko ne de sofo ne de enye nyansa na wo hu. Just say wan ka ne ntem de. But who say there are certain secrets bi wo ha. Eduru ba bi a out of now I had a review. So yes. Because now enye directly to him. It know they come here atwen adwena e dey. SCB so say we shouldn't fall for ntro na e different nipa bi ye dey. No. So because that time no who say even current speaker ono oye NDC ni no obeka kire Ghana for say president is not accessible. And so now for captain national team captain soccer any na day ebon komo. And there are so many things of them and Crawford ma bonten day ebe kan ye ofu say no one the ministers and need that kind of relationship now wo dey ahwe how or kasa about project ya we ya or articulate on share that for book bia paper but you obetimi narrative bia course or that particular project in that particular so what you say.
Yes.
So it tells you say they know seen in ministers communication to be course work say minister no kra ne sector ho he's well aware of it.
Exactly.
And you draw attention to that. So
exactly.
Enya ya no die ya the minister ne mawa a ministerial appointment ne mawa na aton ama enti no so okọ vetting a kwamboni bi obefa so a ye be qualify no for the vetting no obe dey obefa so because obe minister bi a the is a ministry no wato so obi anwu a ana obi a resign a so otua hwani enti semfu bi ekoso bia eye tan bi eye yi bia mesi sia na pass Ghana fo anu a minimum ankasa ne ade a anko mama menye dey resign resign china
da bi na say ne kra no stay no obenya anko besia frɛ no
so no enti no these are some of the things former President Mahama oye nipa de but at least say wo fa no de ne ye dey ejina ho a there was a during when I think say even when he becomes a president he will open that thing again on say 2020 COVID buy no on say no online one-on-one
yes
so be atimi friend ne kasa say bia wo ka wo problem kire no ne those kind of things there be a person oba anyway this is the man ye can why dey so no enti sansem we nyina no se bi o se owuo na baaye ana papa no wawu a anka ne na mo be dey mo be ka kire.
But I say Ghana no sometimes we in my Kenya no hosem to be honest hosem me pacho you be be phone lines in about 10 minutes to your final time nti wow friend e bia actually wait me any adwen nti because my host line I say I busy be who say mobile line also say so that is what we going to do. Nti one will say Castro and Asamoah Gyan ekwa Germany o enye Ghana mayasem
Ene gban ne mfa hwe ho. Una
eni
onya
ya ni
osika na
hwe
kwatu ani
enso ebra
sem bio.
Castro ehwe kai no president no hu say
No,
Castro a figure for the country
exactly.
Asamoah Gyan
Exactly.
so another pillar for the
Yes.
nation enti e wo say oye ade obaya tiba bom bia na e wo say oye enti say who cast your minds back to the days ene na opana air president a say Samini yes abon nyoma ma president
Yeah.
na o share president a share president keke no e keke Samini
Oh. Ebi to Black Rasta.
yes
Omu nyina ade ensem na o man keka mfa John Dramani Mahama.
ene opana na ma oso akonwa baako esi lankusema che say akonwa ye tetu bi kura no o se on tena so
No, say what the president na wie ntie say aka na say na Kennedy ne ho. President na Akufo-Addo ntie say what the president na wie ntie say aka na no odi.
odi hene
Odi hene.
di hene
President ne de wa wie ntie say president ne de ho no. Da bi no de ekọ ede oni bibia obede. Obede bi o ntie say de hene na wo ede.
odi hene
Aka say no na ma ntoma ka na ho.
yes
O say ya no afura ntoma na business o tie kolia na ye de ahencha ye de.
hentashe no
Eno kwa na ye aka.
minia o se mere ya na tin se misi ya na ya ro hosem say na militant kana posterity ene the judge ene na say eduru ho no
Yeah.
because we dey John Mahama anwu kura nso no one say start kan but sometimes me dey say ya ro hosem because when we get a god sent person say omra mebo man na edin pa na matemamufo anhu ade we the last 7-8 years ye ko fa amumuye kese we dey beto oman yi so.
No, I think sir, you shouldn't be surprised because that is the other dirty part of politics. So what you say? And you know, say unya obi a oye te say sa open na type na no so what or because John Mahama as a politician from all the time what the bar politics mu abeye MP ni ade nyina or parliament. You could see say in his activities in a normal way nyina no or the mu stronko.
Yes.
So he's a former president Mills Echo Fana Baba vice no anye den so town na so then e kind of so until you could see say he made a very good impact during the 2008 elections you know san or yeah Juma pa the presence as a vice no e boa party ni bebre so
exactly.
And at least obey president no so no wan hu ni ho anim ase ba ko sei omaye hunu. And on say sometimes in the year na ye kan no ono so no on free hia mu saa o
There be
your mama sabi o na busuafo ana ne papa bobra ne papa was then a minister ti say ba omi adie yi a one de o say na o huru nkuku ansa na wadidi no former president Mahama ne papa so ye dey e bobra ye nka ne saa keke so ati ase nti je ya de bi mo ka
Alhaji de ne de ase entro na Alhaji de because obi a council of state kura papa na ye chairman. How did you end up say o kan chere Ghana for say wo de o huru nkuku ansa na wa school
na say na ye kan say entro no ono no entro na odi no any formula
sem ne bi wo ha masa
no entro na odi no any formula say de na
yeah bufu sem say sometimes I would be cry na wo ankasa cry say ya ha wadwen
you know me no sometimes no enti ne ye kan say ono no as a person when it comes to insema o kan this time round you know Ghana ni bia ni say odi ntro so ati ase because we didn't try my Google I recognize no because Google a map no so on na dey buy enti no Google kro na twema so na yeah Ghana so enti you know there it's not surprising so
I was a woman here
can see su ni nyina ne say say Ghana for be mo ye ni aye dey
adafa
near to the difference between the all kind of correct any the way they odi ntro a kire yen so some time ago former president Mahama e ka asem said na NDC for omunnim say ye project bi ne ye dey ye kwakọ cutting short papa great grand breaking ne grand cutting ne grand one sa chief na say no kan no so and this year project near commissioning those kind of things near Saka like people. Says can wasting was commissioning no crown and no crown it me a project for. So former president John Rawlings. So who said what bad scene be no about be inspected work. and Obawa action ma be as a quine no muya, no so ratina machine so no I day, why ye be no to motivate the workers. No say yes, they need any idea the omoye day, omoye no mon cost no money. And no no we are quine
Yeah, nkomo ye di na mama ka asem bi. O say wo fa former president JJ Rawlings, Yankopon fa ne currency ye. Former president Atamels, Yankopon fa ne currency ye. Ene John Dramani Mahama. See they compare NPP, yam former candidate against Rawlings.
Yeah.
Aduba
Yeah.
J for by and another aba. You could clearly see say NDC candidates and I said nipa na represent no. They seem to be God sent it or more feelings for the ordinary Ghanaian.
Exactly. Sabe pepe.
Professor NPP candidate Aduba he. Aduba to me boycott to the whole parliament.
Mamu mo bi anko parliament. Eni nti no 1992 constitution ye no kra no. Omanye dey. Omanye antu.
Yemfa former president Kufuor also person the chikata ekoto prison. That's a court a fast trial high court. All those court per the constitution of Ghana no. A illegal court.
Yeah.
Not all appointed judges. A chikata defeating no appointed judges. Chikata defeating no appointed judges. To the timer or the chikata kotumu. They come to power and behave as if it's a Ghana no. Omodia. And no be no open up pack court or pakia and never me can't Ghana for say kwa battle now ko yamawa.
Yeah.
Yeah, never about onti yanko court.
You be do ho. And the American say. Say all the toto ho say dey near dey. Ye dey toto ho bana. So now former president Kufuor ye dey Ghana ka nyina che yen a ye call declare hipiki. Osi classroom block fia ba ko.
Atwere ho hipik benefit.
Toilet ni atwere ho hipik block. Ni see hipik toilet. Hipik block, hipik toilet. No what two convoy na ya dey. Na ye kate short asa akọ commission. Ni no sika wasting. Ebi no. The same thing no minim ye. Akufo-Addo ba ye wankra wa commission wa ye dey wa kate short twice. Ayi Kumasi airport. Still no yaye ho ayi nyina awie no deda na contractor ne da so still our be kate short.
Exactly.
So who and you know me those kind of things more like more benchmark
no.
So who fancy yenye de mo say sika fa convoy hu ko agunya kwaniaba. So who and you know ba konya na omo na ma ehunu say yes ye spend this sika na nkasa ya betu sika na ye di amoma hu say mu na munim sika na ye dey edi nti this kind of man say yes ye di sika no nti kwa boni bia so ye be fa ye be di sika no bia ye be dey ye be fa so.
All right, Mate, my yankai 1 or 2 messages now. You move it to the next topic. Many men sign this. I know one thing for sure that no one can harm someone who has got blessed, who God has blessed. GM is highly blessed from God. Militant and so Seneca or say posterity is judging them. William Capp and so at the message by they know all this. Why didn't they come out? I smell. There's a William Capp who say there's something actually going on or smell hypocrisy. When you enter the Muslims animal way in Anna, Mama Mecca. Mr. Munufie, are you fighting for Ghana? Trust me, your effort will not go in vain. You and Fred are so wonderful. Many mensa yedao ase papa pane abasbodia odiama always royal minia mama bakope mama bana mama the good listener exactly nti a lot of messages about nti Fred, let's get the next topic and then we discuss about that because I think that is more serious and more important to Ghana than everything.
Sure.
His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say, if you're not going to know, watch video no. About what I better na fiwe no. Wa anko ya ma ono court. Na iwi heba be discuss court na die pa na wo ho. A bibia on NPP for beka no omo se court. Asema omo beka bi omo se court. Minima de report ya e se court ho. Enti no yankwen sa video na e bia ya ba be bisa Alhaji say court no e die na se court ho. Now, are you sure says about to be to know who we are? And this is for better says on become or not no Marco court. Let's find out.
That as we enter 2024, this is going to be a year of a general election in Ghana. Ghana is a blessed country. We are the most peaceful country in West Africa and the second most peaceful country in Africa. We don't have to take it for granted. I believe that when you look at all our neighboring countries, you have a lot of turmoil, but Ghana seems to be an oasis of peace. But I don't think it has just happened by coincidence. I believe God has his hands on Ghana, and we should continue to pray to maintain our peace and stability in Ghana. So we may have differences politically, but the election should not result in any instability. In Ghana, when we have difficulties or disagreements over elections, we go to court and we settle the matter in court. You and I were not there, and we will settle it that way and go back and live peacefully. And this is how I expect the 2024 election to go peacefully. But we have to pray. Papa, please remember the country in your prayers as we execute the 2024 election. I would say that Papa threw an open invitation for next year, and I am very hopeful that next year I will be here to give testimony for what you have done. That as we enter 2024, this is going to be a year of a general election in Ghana. Ghana is a blessed country. We are the most peaceful country in West Africa and the second most peaceful country in Africa. We don't have to take it for granted. I believe that when you look at all our neighboring countries, you have a lot of turmoil, but Ghana seems to be an oasis of peace. But I don't think it has just happened by coincidence. I believe God has his hands on Ghana, and we should continue to pray to maintain our peace and stability in Ghana. So we may have differences politically, but the election should not result in any instability. In Ghana, when we have difficulties or disagreements over elections, we go to court and we settle the matter in court. You and I were not there, and we will settle it that way and go back and live peacefully. And this is how I expect the 2024 election to go peacefully. But we have to pray. Papa, please remember the country in your prayers as we execute the 2024 election. I would say that Papa threw an open invitation.
All right. Enti Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia nsema ode ato Ghana for anim no. Say abato ayebekwe. Ghana a peaceful country. Na onim se Ghana kwa abato. Na wawanwe no court e na ode ko. Enti 2024 abato ayebabeko no. Wa anko yi ama ono. Alhaji say court. Now, sometimes, some of these kind of statements in the bar, I will say, you do some. Now, we almost say, there is something in human life we call speech, kasa. And then there is a theory called speech act. And nipa en kasa kwa. Answer no be bien and also or kasa no. That person should have a motive or as a why being pubi or anything. Now the second point is say, I was just asking or communicate a PA. Not group of people are per the theory from audience as a one with most of consumers are and seminal. And what Alhaji is trying to do here and say, well, the kind of second and I'm say about one ever corner. See a corner, man winning, and I'm a man winning, easy declare me some winning court. That is the message Alhaji de Magana for but was shada and you see general one was started a psychic Ghana for against hey about what the tuna and farmer court na ese okọ enti yankọ na yankọ hwe Alhaji Dr. Mahmood Bawumia 2012 for court any entropy a ukodi court wo then yemi say won say what is azan we ko election now we near kwan ene beti ase
file. That is the reason you had this kind of duplication and triplication.
That cannot be the case, my lords. If you were doing that, that will reflect in your analysis. It's not the numbers of pink sheets physically that matter as far as the mathematics is concerned. It's how many pink sheets you are using in your analysis. And our analysis is very clear. 11,138 pink sheets. And you can see each polling station, no duplication. Each polling station is...
Dr. Bawumia, what I'm saying to you is that the exhibits that you filed in this court only looked like they were more than 11,000 because you had duplicated and triplicated, and I'll come to the quadruplicated in a moment, but you bulk them up in these duplications to give the impression of more than 11,000 exhibits. That's
there will be no purpose, my lords, to duplicate, triplicate, or whatever to give that impression, because it wouldn't affect the results of the analysis.
You did that.
No, my lords.
You deliberately did that to mislead the court about what you were offering in evidence before this court.
Definitely not. You may actually be misleading yourself, but as far as I am concerned, we are not misleading the court.
Now, Dr. Bawumia, I've actually reminded you previously that you sworn to tell the truth according to your faith on a holy book. And I just remind you again that you defile that holy book as you tell untruths to this court.
You are wrong, counsel.
And I also remind you at this stage, Dr. Bawumia, that you stand liable to the crime of perjury for things that you say that are false on oath, whether they are in an affidavit or whether they are in the witness box. I just remind you of that as I proceed.
Now, my witness is being threatened. I don't know if it is the province of counsel to make these statements to witness. It is not, and I see it as a threat to the witness.
My lords, I think it's entirely fair to remind a witness of his responsibilities to this court and of his liabilities in respect of those responsibilities. As far as the reference to the holy book on which he has sworn being defiled, I think it's also entirely fair to remind him of the serious consequences of that. I'm not threatening him, I'm reminding him about these things in order that he may speak the truth to this court.
From day one, Nana Papa starts to say, on Kanokore, Ujina courtroom, witness box still no, Uditro. Now, so what this has to be way? Organize the election as the vice president and the president Teddy. Now we catch a say election and ko ye kurana yen court. Wo Dr. Bawumia on Kabako court. Wo NPP for Momo Betiasie. Ye ko 2020 about to okura Momo wie mu no. Still the man maji mensa and kujina witness box Mo hwe ade amade ya se look ya court ho.
Appears your calculator is not 1, 2, 9.
Watch that cover calculator. Enye juma e ma general mu ya. Era hotem obusan for. Era hotem pa say adia
security for no frustrating voting. My benya be my teacher who videos in on to no more the papa for no. One can't only to no family round. And don't you abasramo? Obia Timinye, Ghanaian citizenship and free more. Naya Samu Bosse said the Musido Sohano. Yaba by moi. For settlement towns, Sunina, Yabara, never be a Sukubia or no, Yaba Sinu ye. If you say higher, the Nemote, Uniba be a cop. Yabara, Saba be a Mundo Swan. Mobedu 800 no. Polling station no be Baba. If you say, Baby, I'm not here, piano, making a no, Yabaya Munufie, Yamu Stroka, F. No Bim Cocassa, when you're Ghanaian. Monte Ghana and film films, you are Simon Yagana. And the Abbas, and the Abbas Ramo.
A dear Ben Asimni, Obit Ghana and film film also on your Ghanaian. Na sa woko organize sa shambolic election we obi ti Ghana na wa sheda kwa block to nya Ghana ni uko gina voter region wa block omo so me Ghana for wo de ye be kwa abato mo nche nku bie dam na me fa omo can say papers na nko say no na ma omo nya can say e friend say mpo a emfa nkoto aba voter ID fa nkoto aba se sa adwen bone ne na ma plan a the soldier for a geneta chima be shoot to be kunipa, no other countries will lose uncle court. You yate. Much that cover calculator and your general or court. The first time in Ghana's history, will be our organizing election. About 1 year, see and say, or make Gina that can match the coin force of Baba over 10 different figures. Most of my number. Other countries say, I'm winning Abana, and I want to win in the court. You have Fred.
Yes,
don't you think that these statements are so reckless to say and says you're entertaining from any serious politician in the country?
I think that in the first place, you know, Baumia or public sympathy, just for it to look like say he's a peace-loving person.
Okay, that I don't see it like that. I see it.
No, not say me say or public sympathy.
Okay.
What you say?
Okay.
You know, can be am say oh where there or passing be only say yeah omo person omo try attribute to sa you know character to him. So Baumia de or passing ye or you nkabom ni hwan because osole ano na wadane tourist asole them of Pentecost I know do Methodist no akwaje men fellowship ntade ai dai ashe you as your crown was so your poor because one na amantem wo MPP mo but abesina di kamfo yes so no but ye kamfo ni nyina no Dr. Mahmoud Baumia I think say or baby our kasa asem no wrong Ghanaians ya trasa kasa no onim de ntia because you free preachy oh about what they asumdie ne de ka ho asem no ache until some mobile more conducted first elections are now boss president sitting president and a boy nipa nwotwe dey etu test case I so west wagon what ho and several statements every one crop for ho ka kire say we ni ye ready say dey about what be ma NDC even so mo we ne and then we be kai dey afa una also pass review when you just see as you speak you know we create another problem oboko amani minister okokai na yi on behalf of him no akokai kire oboko for say oh mokra no mo ha mo na asem na mo twe ho daire no ya di ka settle no court de danti mo fa ma asem ne dey enko so ahuno mo ye mo festival mo invite you know na akokai asem na kire oboko na aba Yo. And you know, on your obia or like or practice what he preaches.
Yes.
Now maybe some nankasa so. Ebina na America may state say there have been statement reckless ones or Gina ho adana ye de franka etunish ayi shanensano. What yasma na kufu adokan. Say na ho ade aka wo wiase nyina wo de ba every president no so kura wo de betena fi adidi kakra no. Na ebia akire nyankopɔ ato ne sa afre no no. Odi ni nyina ba behwe de ayi ba omia yedai asi akonya so. Wanka say me ba behwe na ma boa ma economy na say ahokyere abaga na fo so no ayedai yayi any ade ade.
I know they encompass NPP aban ade o mo pa ne say obe ye be ka say wa we ni aba.
To me
But 2 million no but o wa setena mo de
setena mo de emfa de ho. Wonim pefe say analysis ya ba nyina no emu bia ni ho ayedai efe ba wa ba yi. Short ase. Say preaching we no on preaching fanchire je mention was say indelible ikina otu aba wi a ese wo do say dey ehye mi ehu say asomasi wato aba a wo se obe dey oyi afiri ho no abenye ne maami sika no de ye dey ode kwa akoto e Ghana fo ye sika na de koto e no ka sumdie na ye pe ni hu bi nti na democracy no e expensive obi ansoma a wo say ye dey sika na de be ma because on for budget nko ma ye ka say ye dey ya approve budget nyina de aye dey e de amount enti yempe tioma on si obi a enim say ya bato no ehu hia ye nti no na ne na ekuta ya sumdie ni ade nti no enu nti na okwa na ye de bibi esese ye de ma obi aye dey ama besi nne a obeye yisi no umu akonta nkyere Ghana for da what say AG Auditor General what the report be about concerning Electoral Commission.
Debbie.
And so sika twitwi di a ye piama maami. Sika ketwa.
Maybe sometimes yeah no kwade me ho say how to organize free, fair and credible election. And no na ban ya wo te so yi. Say your first priority. Now wo ma yisi no so beti ase say hey, me mpedi money.
Anything I make can say
the election we need organizations of the election now we need the outcome of the election and about want to say court.
Exactly, must set bad precedents. What you say? Must set bad precedents. And American say president speech ya woman and say a quiet to say oh make say about to on by day ebeye kind of fefe ama asumbiaye day about because a honor issue near day ewo. But not to refer us to the last resort. Abra the first resort near day. Ewo ho issues so I address here. Now we jump up on the last resort. What you say? Because tell me ho ase bia ba na aba ni say ya kokot no. And only you say ya to aba na day. Ewie. Aba no so ye ntu wie issues wo ho even ye registration na NDC for ka say baby amopese mo center ade no ewo no emmoa timamufo because obi anya 18 years wa wie school onya adwuma ebia baby ote ni to the district capital na emu ye den emu wa enti so obefa card aba ho ne ade no wo disenfranchise say nipa no in a way who discourage you from voting those days na the voters ID card and those kind of things you know you know. And then no any hobby into what interest in a one person say so day. Okay, however, sa Ghana card na more general so no say open a fast tracker and so go to 250 cedis. Abrade pa nya adwuma or kofa say scan na day. Na boss ma sare abeka kire say oh about to any registration nya by force. Sa nkrofo we num ne adwene wo mu tiri mu ni o. No, who president appointed party communicator edina kwa wura electoral commission so on koye commissioner no waka wanu atum no ho na problem ne wo no wo jampo ho na akoka kire Ghana for say ye to aba wie na say wan hwe ne akokot it means say o adwembone ye dai won trim
of course a reckless statement na say o cancer asem no
so no enti ni asem na waka no no we shouldn't take it lightly at all. Bishop Kevin Taylor on his program oko sagana nuguo na se bibisa bi ama hunu din ne bo mo fa nche me sagana nuguo se bibisa yes in northern region ho savannah region ho ya to aba wie no omude ayi EC official no eko ambushi no nde gina ho ma ni declare MPP win e wo ho all these are some of the things I heard it happened here during the 2020 elections. And you know very well, say 2021 winning because the president Akufo-Addo winning no sure say Ghana for to Abamana. And Konko can't check Kwabre for say more Kwabre for Crow Kukumutiri or the apartment because when the other means or the bad day or the bad winning. So he doesn't rely on your vote.
Yes.
So
All right.
okay. Or rely on who vote now to Amano.
Live on YouTube, so I'm saying live on Facebook, and they streaming also on Instagram. To say what to make on so and also a part of the show. But I show free say ko wait me join a line or 0508117781. Na ma hu say enya ofrefo a odi kan. Menua me ma adwo anwumre.
Oh, wafa. Apo mo e.
Nyame adom ho ye pa na won so e.
No ho ye pa, eyezu.
Eyezu. We yezuza.
Bibi abo. Papa, bibi abo ko de wa bodo wa.
Ni ho, ye gina na so.
September no aya mi hu program eja. Abetu abro wa ba mi ta konye mu amisa. Bi mo ya wa Ghana mani je wo pa.
Ya da se ma.
Yala. Ma, na be di mi nkwala anchen wa.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Just this because me any be me ya campaign papa.
Sa.
Me one your friend is saying Kaka the NPB a wojina ya pesi e two MPP kobi na hono.
Sa.
Western region.
Or trasa ye tikasam or this is same. Me can ga line na bata ye tikasama or this is same.
Okay.
Or kobi ne pa no what you want to see what no wapa. What trasa to say the kone Japan actually na Bible nukrom afen central ho. Na papa ni to me yafio.
Ada mo gabi ho.
What to talk a day what to talk at ya dime book. Me papa me what they say. You see, why be a what you go to Tikari Abran with the Ghana.
Yeah, Gabi what said that is true. 17 million.
Ah, yo, what you see? You say quarter to say then there be some power.
I'm carry the dom de ya no mo wiansa se.
Why you no so?
Sir.
And me draw ta one pass to Akadima Takura de for hanta
for. E pa you ma me matepa me da se.
Hanta for no mo di ni map. Nti na wo mo ya ti asamba ko ano ano. Wo mo cha asamba ko ano ano. Adai Pastor Takura de krom. What was? What I can fear. As soon as you know we it's one back. I am going to have what a fool.
There be.
You see, baby. Nadia did the debut so who said that the way for
no great.
Ebia, what is the just the snow to talk. That's all was talk. No one didn't name. Then if I find a to cry, yes, who saw no, yes, who caught.
But that's a man. Team me fa or friend for saying this on team. Nyame adma no bekasa.
Mesrao, time man and men pro back to
me am freo.
Premier, number one.
When you have me chia na live on 1 hour with the Munufie program so.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Are you okay for me to speak in English?
Do you want to be part of the program?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, you're free to speak English.
All right, okay. Thanks for the opportunity anyway, and good evening to your listeners.
Good evening,
you've raised a few issues regarding some of the topics you were discussing. I just wanted to add my views to it. It's not a disagreement, just an addition of a perspective to it.
All right.
You asked the question, why is it that Ghanaians have issues with certain leaders such as Jerry Rawlings and John Mahama?
Yes.
there's a fundamental problem with our people. It didn't only start from the days of Jerry Rawlings.
Okay.
I believe it started from the days of Nkrumah.
Mm-hmm.
We've never really understood the link between infrastructure development and the development of a people or human development.
Okay.
Our people have never really appreciated that. What most of our people want is money in their pockets to spend. How the money comes around, most of the time, they don't really care. And that has been the problem.
That's true.
When Nkrumah was investing a lot in infrastructure, even if Nkrumah overspent whatever money he had,
yes,
as at the time he was being overthrown, he laid infrastructure for us.
Okay.
And if we had taken care of that infrastructure, even after his overthrown, we would have done better.
Yes.
But our people don't understand that. So when you come abroad, even those of us who happen, I believe you are broadcasting from Finland.
Yes, sir.
Those of us who happen to come abroad, if you don't send money to people for them to spend, you are sort of not looked up to that much.
They see you as a useless person.
Yeah, you are a useless person. No, they don't seem to appreciate the link between the modern day man and how he or she develops and infrastructure. Most of us who lived in Europe, most of the natural resources embedded in the soil in Europe are found around Russia going.
Yes.
In fact, most of Western Europe, they barely have anything, with the exception of coal in some countries, so countries such as Germany, maybe some countries such as the UK, maybe countries such as Poland.
Yes.
They don't have all these resources we talk about. And in fact, most of the time, their ability even to grow food is limited. You live in Finland.
Exactly.
For 4 to about 5 months of the year, you can barely grow anything.
Exactly.
If you don't have significant investment in infrastructure in terms of growing food by creating artificial conditions in order for the food to grow, you can't really grow anything outside. The soil is frozen. There's hardly any sunlight.
Yes.
There's nothing to support plant growth.
That's true.
But these people in Western Europe understand the importance of infrastructure.
Yes.
And it's because of the infrastructure that's why they've made significant leaps ahead of us over the last 600, 700 years.
Yes.
And so when you have people telling you that, a quine obedi, I mean, this was a statement made by the late J.H. Manson.
Yes.
A brilliant economist.
Yes.
But people clapped for him.
It's because they capitalize on the ignorance of the people or the masses.
Yes, that is our people. But our people, you see, unfortunately, those of us who have also traveled abroad, particularly the generation that traveled in the 80s, we didn't help issues. We didn't go back to tell people, well, I wasn't traveling in the 80s, I'm too young for that. But that generation didn't help issues. Because by that single infrastructure.
Yes.
But our people don't understand it. So if you go there and you tell them that you are building Terminal 3, well, they know that, but a lot of them, they are interested in who is going to give them money, T-shirts or whatever it is.
That's true.
You tell them that you are giving them high, top of the range hospital, so that when your heart is failing and you're in your 60s, nobody will have to be running around looking for where to send you. They know particularly where to take you to so they can help you out and maybe survive. No, a lot of them are not interested in that. And that is a problem. How are we going to change that? I don't know, because even Nkrumah couldn't change that perception. Nkrumah gave them so many industries. Even if some of the industries ended up collapsing and we've taken care of even 50% of the industries Nkrumah left us, we wouldn't be having the levels of unemployment we have today. Yes. And without industry, it's almost impossible to develop the technical capabilities of your country.
Okay.
Because no, it's not possible to train somebody to become a top-range auto mechanic when he doesn't have a fitting shop or a car assembly plant to go and learn his practicals.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. You can't train somebody as a gas mechanic to come and fix your gas system in your home for your heating and for your air conditioning systems if you don't have an industry that will help out with the training of these people.
That's
you don't
true.
do technical training in theory alone.
That's
in
true.
fact, most of these technical trainings, you spend more days with the employer or the company rather than you spend in your tutorial rooms.
Yes.
But we don't have that. And our people, unfortunately, we have become used to the idea of giving money to spend.
Yes.
It is really bad. And it is those of us who are even, I'm speaking to you from Scotland, those of us who are living abroad, it has significant impact on us because you are constantly having to go and, do the same thing. You give somebody something, then they spend and it finishes, and then another month they want some more, and another month they want some more. And at some point in time, you just get fed up. And then you stop doing it. Yes, because it's not a bottomless pit that we come to inherit here. Yeah. If you move out of our country, whether you go to North America or you come to Europe or you go to Australia or Japan or maybe you go to nowadays the Middle East, it's not bottomless pit of money.
Yes.
That you find in all of these places. So just to summarize, our people don't understand infrastructure.
Yes.
And they don't understand the importance of infrastructure as far as their development is concerned. But if they do, we should not have the problem retaining leaders who are keen on developing infrastructure. Yes. And I'll give you one simple example. Take a place like Tema and take a place like Anumabo or Elmina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In terms of the historical importance of these places, you can't compare Anumabo, you can't compare Tema to Anumabo, and you certainly can't compare Tema to Elmina. Yeah. But it was because of the vision of one leader who saw the importance of infrastructure and built a port in Tema. Today, in terms of the economy or the contributions of these places to the economy of Ghana, there's no way you can compare Elmina to Tema. And there's no way you can even compare Anumabo to Tema. And it's because of what? One big infrastructure, the ports and associated industries that were located over there. Otherwise, Tema was a little coastal enclave with just a handful of fishermen, no different from what you find in Apam or Mankisim, or in fact, in terms of fishing, you could not even compare it to Elmina.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it was a little enclave of the eastern side of Accra. That's all. I mean, but if you look at Tema today, it is one of the few towns, dare I say, maybe one of the few metropolis that if it's given the opportunity to keep all of its revenue, it can actually self-finance itself.
Okay.
Yes.
I think this is a topic by itself that we need to
Yes, I know it's a
discuss.
topic. I just wanted to add a perspective to it. And sorry
That's
for
true.
taking too much of your time.
All right. Thank you very much,
and
sir.
have a good evening.
Thank you very much. All right. Young Queen, I think maybe the last caller, then we conclude on the show because I think Minia, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sorry, you've been waiting for some time now.
Yeah.
All right. If I show you live for 1 hour with Munufie.
Let's see. I'm saying, meeting no can be a and can me person me can be before EC ink.
Okay.
That and say and penny for year. It's say ink no a yadi dear a woman a shemrem say SSS yet to a bar. Yadi be ye ascens dear Emma Obia who's any pay wa betua banevie. Neba ne saying now. The mention your media may be inside the nephew. This is one way of conniving with the certain president in order to steal the election because Oman will say, at the end of any year, in TSA Pekwan be so fast. Said the Bay, I bet me a man, young Crawford be out to more than one. One will say the IDNC economy. And to say the yes, NDC from pen for no Omonko, the whole gun or so Moko.
Okay.
Sadian said the Bay, Inkano, Jedmans or poem put yon net or Inkano. You will see with Ubutum Sikan auditor Inkano. On Bani Sikan, the amount near say, factors are no more way, and it is part of the election materials.
Yes.
Enti adent na opese obeyi sade ne free. Enti na ba omia ebegyina ho ma speech say oye na say elections bibi bananti ase anya adwuma go to court. You be ko ni trisu na pampa so. We'll go to nutrition and pampas. Nobody is going to court. We will never go to court. And
court
we are going to win the thing.
Hands down. Are won on at the police station.
Police stations. Court be a mem, and we are going to guard everything because it's a no. A man for any brief some to Adelma John Mahama. Now the more can I say? Ombede abo omo abano obai. Omo vote no. Because omo per se ombe waste omo vote.
Okay.
They mean to vote for John Mahama. And how are you going to protect our vote for us? Because omo no ehunu kwan ya nkofo no fa so ewia benum.
Yes.
Enti ebi na see your friend is saying district elections.
Yes.
Enti we are praying say NDC should make sure say they insist say the ink must be used during the election time. They cannot take the ink out of the election.
Okay.
And papa na no okasa oka infrastructure some medana say papa. And that is what John Mahama started building schools, building hospitals, building roads. Ebeye den na si anya akwan niema yedua ne ade no. And I say even roads leading to the various places I bit niama akoso no. Ebeye den ye tumi aye. And for school, they can't get access to schools to go and teach. Omo necessary hospitals, no hospital. They are sitting in the homes. And Tiscania usually training omo. Now, what's the essence in it? And that is why John Mahama was saying, he's not going to pay that allowances. You know, using NCC infrastructure. GMC, University of Ghana Medical Center, me say beautiful. I've seen pictures and videos.
Yes.
Koche, your friend say, regional hospital here, what a rich, very beautiful. Ko other koche kokumasi other year or your hospitals so very nice and beautiful hospitals. Na sadie we wo hon ma ebeye den na infrastructure into me. Twe one secret John Mahama here and say Senka omoma na kwan to win in 2016. You know what he was going to do? He was going to move people out of Konkwanochi, and that is why Omkosi there were other hospitals no big. Said ya make me move forward. Na Oma Baba Beruno Beti Konkwanochi because Konkwanochi is for government. It's not for individual. Say something you best say me this car kwakoye. Na nimguasi aka kufu adonenti. He couldn't come out because they know what they are doing for something in it. They pay something in the taxes near the idea man. I want to near the idea what America pro man.
Martin,
I gave you one something also can on to me and because what can say how mobile JPA.
Medasi.
Entina nka hospital say ya nka wana wo attack no. You attack the government.
Yes.
But on to me attack one.
Yes.
That's why he has kept quiet. Say, I can't say me this can medi ayeden media barber is see hospital. Which is wrong. Which is wrong. Yo, Medasi.
All right, Fred. Enti you know in 2 minutes.
Yeah. All right. So same way, talking of infrastructure, I metaka comparatively, no say na make catch no say Ghanaians don't understand governance. Now I think say ye koye nim no enti ase ebe dey ebe basisi a obi ani da obi esua de because obi be promise say me the free maternal care eba nemom wan see hospitals which free maternal care no pave way say obi abetimi anyi say awo so ati ase enti no ye maame nom enkowo free na obewu free o bench so no eni si ebesi hospital papa amawo na wakowo na watie sika kakra amawo no ba afa mo ba fefefe because even aside that obe free hospital wakra na de yare na yede every wa ba fie. There have been so many instances oba wa won by force ne ho kra enye se bia nka ye doctor yi no go through operation but because of bed sake intino nurse you know free hospital by force. Nema case scenario concerning infrastructure ya can ho asibia. Way back 2016 there about na era John Mahama minya a graduate Emma also can say the same statement in you a dine near bed ye baby. What you say? Referring JH Mensa. One of these days, ya empo be money trap sunyani cocoa house. No fanya day. On fan chile. That beautiful edifice no kwan fan chile to Sunyani Regional Hospital. Nina no na o day or katia because wahuni say NDC ya de papa day. Ewo nukuro ma dache no nkrofo be hwe so de day. Ede to abama ye nti no no ka chire say sika nu botom. Na sika nu botom na wo yare na wo benya baabi akwasa ho yare a eno ni nimfaso enti wo se wo ma free mata na ake in this wise no oba no so kwa bench so no yede okowo na university graduate a ono nim so complete school a class of 90 we were almost 100 na obisi 200 secondary schools. Every secondary school needs a teacher, a PE teacher. What you say? Secondary school be a here PE teacher. So at the end of the day, no, say a say, so what see even 100 per year. And kaye nipa na year school 2016 2017 ako out no. And our jobs are secured. So what you say? Obia benya baby a day akoye adwuma. And so that is what we talk about what infrastructure development. So no. Forgetting say even the one now they are so ball for the project to kickstart and the adwuma ebeba empotemu ho obi kura no enya akwanya because enkrofo a moye adwuma ho ne bi to nsuo no ebi to aduane di na workers omo edo omo a omo de amazing fo nya adwuma ye if obi kura koso amota and before answer na building no be kura ye be hwie no na within the community na ye see sa project ni bi ye dey e wo ho no enkrofo kura nya sika ye dey atu omobotom. That is what we have forgotten. And on kwa kra no emma community no kra dey enya adwuma ye ebi munya sika emma no bi kotontonsu wo ho binum ko enoma bebre ne koso electrician fo benya adwuma ye like na ye kan onum say Asamoah Gyan first term no mo build both and nuts industries small industries with various mechanics oko India baby or magazines wo various towns no almost see boat and nas you wo ho na omode de ebo omamo anwuma de akoso. These are some of the infrastructure developments na de can to ease the work of what the individual and say or ye ne keke.
All right,
so ahuno
Mate,
entino for me what I know ni say NDC as a party no tem bia no omo ba omo dwene hwe nkan so ahuno MPP as a party no omo tem bia omo epe de edem tumi be mo omo yedai ene enti ye mo omo ayi hwe nanadon dada asem bi oye COVID-19 ba ye osi o mi mamu nsuo free mi mamu kania free ewi ase ede de siye ye to abawie ya wase muntu aka na wasa double e de ho taxes aye dey aba begu ye so ahuno enti e ho na ese Ghana fo sha ade e sha ase ese ye dey ye sua ade
Matiminia
e ho na ese Ghana fo sha ase ese ye sua ade so yes. For me currently and recently me dey conclude no wouldn't say here there have been a release or a pledge statement concerning Ghana armed forces military no problem asase here dey eba ho because enkrofo we no person more castrate another deal enti no top hierarchies chief of defense staff money ade adom say sampanyufo ne nye omo nkrofo no omo fa kwa bi so aye dey afọ so omo ma retirement omo yi omo afiri ho no omo de omo nkrofo anya kwan aye dey aba abehihye ho said ye be ya de course 2020 ni bi be san aye dey akoso and said ye ozu bempa ehu ade na wokan onim say MPP enye dey enwe this is clear ayi and pay omo nsem a omo keka na omo nkoma omo die no e kire say aba na omo ahwe ne kra na omo befa kwamboni bi aso aye dey aye there are two things NDC enkanchire MPP for and as someone kanchire Dr. Mamu Bami as omo court to ne akoko to china. Court is out of our thinking.
Medase.
Two, election 2024. No, what I expect NDC to do. One, indelible ink in the or Kinimu time, you see Kinimu time, the way you should. The Atosu Mienu, sa regional coalition now, the Abesha Honosono. Or offer or more back, they should make sure so and also day, year free because sa various transitions, and at the chrono near day. Ever. Abana obekachire say 3 o'clock or so yeah or obe pon last year you say no obey we as you know the recorded declaration either aba what you can pre-recorded say because o catch say for say time say na meba be declare results near the next minute baby I catch them for say omo nyina nkotwen no ho ne ade no wan si hompo ye hu no declare results so ade a omo she dem omo planning omu nim pefe se aba no mo belusu na emom se de Samuel wuku na mo keka se omo the strategy na hwan onye strategist enche obi a
that's me nti me das
yeah mark
all right me das all right abusia for programming ne ye de besi wa ha na se ne wonim no 1 hour de Munufie every day no live on YouTube. So na air live on Facebook. Enti baby obetimi a subscribe, obetimi a follow, obetimi a like, be an obetimi a hit ho. And then so we were also live on Instagram. So we will try to be expanding our networks. And baby obetimi a be an on Sabeka. Now in near term we analyze issues and then the topics they discussing one Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia or catching it him for say and our catcher Ghana for say next year election what be losing no court. We don't think so will be a Lucia court. And then as Asamoah Gyan Pastor Eastwood and Aba more Bojo Mama Baso and then moi and the love and the feeling he has for the nation so friend on Sabekano. In Tinyame Admo China, we back again. We try to stream 1 hour of our time, but I think say moving forward, maybe we need to adjust our time and then move to either 1.5 hour or 2 hours of our time. In T Saamumna ABI Baye. Na medawase se unyamre na hwe nyame ya adoma na wo de adomdom ya ochina ye besan aba ene wo asan aba petro so meda obibia ase bye bye.
All believe in the same God, the God of Abraham, the God of Moses, the God of Noah, the God of David. We all believe in the virgin birth of Jesus Christ. That miracle of virgin birth of Jesus Christ. Jesus performed so many miracles. He raised people from the dead. He restored sight to the blind. He cured lepers. We all believe that. But most important, that most people don't focus on, most important is that we all believe that before the end of the world, Jesus Christ would come back to earth and save the world from the Antichrist. We all believe that. And so, if you are a Muslim and you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you cannot be a true Muslim.
Are suffering. Teacher trainees are suffering. Nurses are suffering. And nursing trainees are suffering. Patients are suffering. Students are suffering. Traders are suffering, pensioners are suffering, drivers are suffering, contractors are suffering, civil servants are suffering, and farmers are suffering. Fishermen are suffering, and industries are suffering. Artisans are suffering, and kayaye are suffering. The disabled are suffering, and men are suffering. Women are suffering, and children and Ghanaians as a whole are suffering.
Impenial Bodopa, a vice president.
Right.
He's an economist. I know you're also an astute economist. Has he failed in a Akufo-Addo government?
Oh, of course, yes.
He has failed.
Yeah, of course. The man said, when Mahama, media no grace in Lumumpa, and I can Japan or my NDC ammunition, NDC for Muntikuruma. When the man said, say, when your fundamentals are weak, your exchange rate will expose you. when he was saying that $1 was 4 cedis, and the current DC for say 3 cedis, 80 pesos, and today 11.5. The rate of depreciation. What are we going to say? And to me, the baby are no credit be any account. Neither you are unfairly young or a mate.
But the failure near the MPP party.
But Ebasa digital dia unka say MPP I know there you take credit. Ebasa bibi nya dia wo say now you mate. Please, you see, I don't want individual, but media means so we makama. I was expecting the year 2016 or economy was a year and compensation see our call round to make economy was. He talks about digital. Let me tell you something. Make Western North. Tie. Economist. Muntie. Tomato seller is the best economist I've ever seen. One polling station woman organizer catch him say, Honorable, maybe one ma mean to about. Nam so what day? What's it? First, a bucket of tomatoes are now 10 cedis. And then the same quantity no, me the 50 cedis. Me get to ashi into me nya juma nye me tifie. Economist Ben Echewi, he's been able to analyze the cost of 10 cedis tomatoes about 3 years ago. Now is 50 cedis, and she needs more money to go and buy. She doesn't have it into her TV. Sa mami we.